Hey, welcome back to JG3 Reviews. My name is James, and I review fountain pens, inks, paper, and related things to a hobby that I really enjoy. And because, sometimes you find a pen that is really surprising at how good it is, and sometimes you find one and you have to share. So stay away from this one. Today it's the former. It's a pen that I really enjoy from a company that has had a lot of really good value-priced hits. This is the Hongdian A3. It is a metal-bodied pen. It is a really light pen, 22 grams, 0.78 ounces, and yes, it does have a metal grip section, but that grip section they have designed to be non-slip. Well, does that work? Stay tuned and we'll find out as we look at the positives and negatives of this pen. How does it write? And maybe even have a dry joke here and there. Let's flip that camera and dive right in. All right, let's do a quick design overview. It's a very simple shape of pen, and I like that. It's kind of a minimalist pen, even though it has the grooves that swirl around the pen. Those are just nicely done and tastefully done, and the matte finish of this silver pen looks, I think, quite good. I found no flaws in the finish or in that groove work, so I do like that. The clip is a steel clip and has a good stiffness and yet functions quite well. The trim ring, which says Hongdian on one side and A3, the model name, on the other, is well done. Simply tapers down where it joins up to the barrel, and that's all done well. Speaking of the barrel, that tapers itself down to a very simple finial, while the cap itself tapers down to a very cool finial with 3 dragons at the top. That cap, of course, is a snap cap, and let's let you hear this. Nice little snick. And when it is capped, there is no play. It is a nice snug fit. It is not loose. See, no rattle. Except I did hear the agitator in the converter, but no rattle from the cap whatsoever. And that cap does post and post securely. See, no issue there whatsoever. It takes no effort to get that to post securely. There is, of course, a plastic liner inside that metal cap to help prevent dry out, and of course is part of the snap mechanism. So I do like the exterior design of the pen. Now when we remove that cap, you find that metal section. And before you think, oh, that's a deal breaker, let me tell you, those horizontal grooves do a great job of giving you a non-slip grip. And so that I do really like. Now it does taper down quite a bit, as you can see. I'll put the specifications of that up here in just a second. So there is that, but I don't have problems with this pen slipping in its grip. So I think they've done a good job. That combined also with a continuation of that matte finish does a good job. So the nib was one of the things that drew me to this pen. I like the design overall, but I also really like the rocket and Saturn-like planet design here on the nib. So I like that little bit of creativity, and Hongdian has been adding some features like that here for a while now. So a really nice looking nib. It's a number 5, a Hongdian number 5. They do make, this is one of the things I like about Hongdian, they make replaceable nib units, and so they are screw-in nib units, and you can get extra fine and a fude or bent nib. So you do have some options just in case. And of course it does have the typical plastic feed. Opening up the pen, you will find that those threads are metal on metal and nicely done. And you find, what is this but a converter? More companies are coming around, but Hongdian has been on that bandwagon for an awful long time. So it does come with their typical converter. If you're wondering about other converters or cartridges, this is the Chinese 3.4 millimeter size, and Hongdian does sell cartridges for this pen should you prefer a cartridge. Now, before I go ink this up, let me just remind you, this would be something I might put on the, pros and cons. This would be a con. With this metal grooved grip section, of course, if you dip it in the bottle, as I would often do, to fill it up with ink, then you're going to have a difficult time getting ink out of those grooves, most likely. So just kind of bear that in mind. I'm actually going to go off camera and fill this with a syringe just so that I avoid that issue. But all right, cool finials and nice design. Don't matter diddly squat if the pen can't write. So let's see how this does. And again, this is the Hongdian A3 with an extra fine nib. And this is Waterman Serenity Blue ink. Now, I think, I could be wrong, I think this is the first extra fine that I've gotten from Hongdian, and I know that a couple of you have mentioned in comments before that you'd like to see more extra fine nibs. A lot of reviewers not big fans of extra fines for whatever reason. Maybe that's a Western thing. I'm not sure. I don't, because a lot of the time I just like I'm a medium nib fan, okay? But Western fines often write like Eastern mediums, so I use a lot of Western fines. Chinese fines, the same thing. Hongdian's fines are on the more fine to medium side most of the time. So I thought, let me give it a shot. And I like it so far. All right, so it writes quite smooth. Now you're going to hear the paper. This is Rhodia paper. Of course, that's a nice smooth paper. I am almost to the end of this pad, so it's a little noisier because I am close to that cardboard backing. It's going to give a little bit more, and this microphone tends to be a little bit sensitive. I can tell you here in person, it is nice and smooth with only a smooth pencil type audible feedback and not much feedback at all from the nib as far as vibration through the pen. That's pretty much not an issue at all. That was a lift right there. That was not the pen. Now you're not, these are stiff nibs. Number 5, of course, because of its size, tends to be a little stiffer than a 6 would be anyway. You're not really going to get flex. I'm not going to push it. That's just, as you can see, not really much going on there. So just consider that it's going to be just a normal standard steel number 5 nib. And I'm filming this right after Father's Day, so I really think another dad joke might be in line. All right, go ahead and groan. I'm groaning too. Now let's do a quick size comparison. So there is the Hongdian A3 and the Jinhao 86 in stainless steel, the Lamy Studio in imperial blue, a blue Pilot Vanishing Point, Zebra Sarasa in metal, and a Parker Jotter, and of course the Lamy All-Star in azure blue. And there they are, all posted, showing an even wider array of pen length. All right, so let's wrap this up. I do think this is a really good pen and a great value. You get a light metal pen with a really good, in this case, an extra fine nib that wrote very well, nice and smooth, and I enjoy writing with the pen. That metal grip section is grooved well enough that I don't think that's an issue, especially since it's grooved and a matte finish. I find it a comfortable pen to write with. Unposted, extremely well balanced. Posted, still balanced just fine. And I just like some of these design touches. The swirled grooves around the barrel and cap, the grooved section in contrast, the rocket on the nib, all of it in what is overall a nice, simple, fairly minimalist design. And then the surprise of the design of the dragons on top. I think all of that works together to make this a nice and a unique pen from Hongdian. So, what do you think? Do you like the pen? Do you like those design touches? Does that fix the metal grip section for you? If you have this pen, do you like it? Has yours turned out to be as good as mine has been? Share that in the comments below. God bless you. Have a good week, and I'll see you in the next review.